Hey guys, so today we're checking out the HDX Extreme Nerf Side Step Bars in texture black, fitting all 2005 and newer double cab Toyota Tacomas. So if you're in search of some stylish protection and accessibility for the side of your truck, then this is going to be a great choice to take a look into. Now this option is going to do a really good job of providing a lot of accessibility for you to get in and out of your truck on a daily basis, as well as your passengers. And this large step here is going to provide some better roof access if you need a step up to access anything mounted on top of your Tacoma, especially if it's lifted. Now what I do really like about this is the fact that this is going to have a large cutout here, but it's not necessarily going to have a drop down. So this is also great if you do take your truck off-road and you want a large stepping surface, but you don't necessarily want anything hanging down that could potentially get hung up off-road. Now this is going to have a large plastic pad up on top. It is going to have some ridges on it, making sure that it's giving you the best traction on those wetter days and making sure getting in and out of your truck is as easy as possible. Now these will also do a really good job at protecting your rocker area and your pinch wheel area if you do take your truck off-road, or even if you are in the parking lot. This is going to protect the side body of your truck from any door dings. Now this will be made of a heavy duty steel material. It is going to be one piece, so you don't have to worry about multiple components here. And it's also going to have a nice texture black powder coat finish on top to match with any other heavy duty accessories you may have already added to your Tacoma, and also give a more off-road feel or a heavy duty feel to the side of your truck. Now with that being said, these are going to come in at roughly $550, and I personally think that that's a great price point for what you're getting out of this kit. Now these are going to be built very well, and I personally think that this has a great balance between protection as well as accessibility. Now again, this is going to have a large step here that's going to provide that accessibility, but you're also getting a lot of protection to that rocker area, like I said before, as to where some other options are not going to have that balance. Some may be focused more on accessibility. They may be for a smaller running board style step that may not be made of the same materials as this. And then on the other hand, there are some other options that are mainly focused on protection and that may not have a step. Now again, if you're looking for something that is non-traditional of a design, you're looking for something stylish, and you're also looking for that balance, that split between protection and accessibility for your Tacoma, then this is going to be a great choice. Now as far as install is concerned, this is going to be incredibly easy. I do really like this out of this kit in particular. I'm going to give it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. You're going to need very few basic hand tools to get the job done, and probably 2 hours worth of your time. So speaking of that install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were an electric ratchet, a 13mm socket, and a 3-inch extension. So the first step to this install is mounting our brackets up to the body of the Tacoma. Now we're going to have 3 brackets on either side, and we're also going to have some hardware. It's going to be the bolts, flat washers, and lock washers. Now we're going to have a front specific bracket. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. It's going to have 2 mounts on it, and then the other 2 brackets are just going to have a singular mount. Now we can head underneath our truck and loosely install the brackets so we can install our side step. So first we can mount up our front bracket. As you can see, it has 2 mounting locations, 2 tabs here. So I'm going to take our provided hardware, which is the bolt, lock washer, and flat washer, and thread that into the rocker area. Now we don't necessarily have to tighten these up just yet. We're just going to loosely install these so we can rest our side step on and secure that down, and then we can go back and tighten everything up once everything is in place. As you can see, this does have some adjustability forward and back, and that's why we're going to wait to tighten those up. But after this is loosely installed on the front, what we can do is head to the middle and side brackets. So for the middle bracket, as you can see, we have 1 tab here with 2 mounting locations. We're going to insert 2 bolts into the rocker area, but you want to make sure that this tab is facing the front of the vehicle, and then we can thread these into place. These are also going to have a little bit of adjustability to them, so these are going to stay loose as well, but snugged up enough so it's not completely moving around when we mount up our side step. Once we're done with the middle, we can head to the back. So last but not least, we're gonna install the rear bracket. This is gonna be the same process as the middle bracket, but this tab is gonna be facing the rear of the vehicle, unlike the middle bracket. So I'm gonna take the same hardware and just thread that into the rocker area. Once those are all installed, now we can align our step with our brackets. So what we can do at this point is mount up our steps to the brackets that we just installed. Now on the inside of the steps here, we're gonna have blocks that are welded into place. These are gonna be threaded, so you wanna make sure that they're going on the correct side. For the front bracket, it's gonna go on the outside, and then for the middle and rear bracket, it's gonna go on the inner side of this block. Now we're just going to line up the step with these brackets. Just make sure that we're going in the right location. So this is going to be a little bit difficult to see, but as I told you before, the bracket's gonna sit inside of the step here, and it's gonna line up with this block with threads in it. So what we're gonna do is take that hardware that we used before, the bolt lock washer and flat washer, and we're gonna thread this in. Now I threaded in the middle just to make sure that it stays in place, but you can just take your leg or take your hand and adjust this as needed when you are bolting this up. Once we're finished up with the front, what we can do is repeat that process for the middle and the back bracket, and then we can adjust the step how we want it and tighten everything down. Now that the step is on and attached to our bracket here, we can tighten down the bracket bolts. I'm gonna use a 13mm socket, and I'm also gonna use an extension just to give myself a little bit of room. And then we can go back and tighten down the bolts that are attached from the step to the bracket. Then we can repeat that for the other two brackets. So now that we tighten down the brackets, what we can do is make sure that the side step is tucked all the way into the rocker where we want it, and then we can go ahead and tighten down the bolts that are connecting the step to our bracket here with the same 13mm socket. Then we can repeat that for the other two brackets. So once everything's wrapped up on this side, you can repeat that same process for the other side. So that is going to wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos and products just like this, and always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.